Orania 历史、现状与未来。一、引言。Orania 是南非北开普省一座由阿非卡纳人建立的自治城镇，位于奥兰治河沿岸。该镇于1991年由 Carel Boshoff 等人创立，旨在为阿非卡纳人提供一个文化和语言的避风港，形成一个被称为人民国家 （folk state） 的白人独立区域。Orania 的建立与南非历史上的种族分裂政策有直接关联，尽管其居民否认该镇是复兴种族隔离的尝试。二、历史时间线。1762年，阿非卡纳人在 Orania 地区首次定居。1963年，水务部建立名为 resurrecting 的建筑工地，随后成为 Orania 的前身。1990年，约40户阿非卡纳人家庭购买 Orania， 计划将其转变为阿非卡纳人的栖息地。1991年 ，Orania 正式成立，成为阿非卡纳文化的中心，居民需满足语言和文化认同的申请条件。1995年，南非总统纳尔逊·曼德拉访问 Orania， 显示出国家对该镇的关注。2000年 ，Orania 的代表性议会得到维持，成为南非唯一未被废除的过渡性地方政府。三、共同点与差异。一、文化自觉。Orania 的建立是为了保护阿非卡纳人的文化遗产与自决权，居民需是阿非卡纳人，流利使用阿非卡语。二、经济自给自足。经济以农业为主，尤其是坚果种植，且 Orania 发行自己的货币 Ora， 以促进地方经济。三、人口增长。2023年 Orania 的居民人数达到2874人，年均增长率超过 10%， 显示出该镇吸引力的上升。外部评价。不同来源对 Orania 的评价存在分歧。一些报道将其视为种族主义的象征，称其为白人城镇，而其他观察者则认为 Orania 是阿非卡纳人寻求安全与文化归属的合理选择。四、现状与未来。Orania 继续作为一个文化和经济独立的城镇，居民通过自给自足的方式维持生活。尽管面临来自南非政府的压力和外部的批评，但 Orania 的居民坚持其自决权，计划今后进一步发展并扩大其影响力。2023年，该镇举行城市规划会议，预示着其未来的扩展目标。Orania 的建立与发展反映了南非复杂的历史背景和阿非卡纳人对身份认同与文化持续性的重要追求。尽管外界对其存在的争议不断，但 Orania 在阿非卡纳人心中依然是一个追寻自我保护与文化延续的象征。五、总结。Orania 的历史不仅是阿非卡纳人文化自觉的体现，也是南非社会中复杂种族关系的缩影。未来，随着对自我认同和文化保护的更大需求， Orania 可能会继续吸引更多寻求归属感的阿非卡纳人。然而，这也将伴随更大的社会争议和对话的需求。
Orania, a town in South Africa's Northern Cape Province, represents a complex interplay between Afrikaner nationalism, cultural preservation, and the legacy of apartheid. Founded in 1991 by a group of Afrikaners, the town was established as a self-governing community aimed at providing a cultural and linguistic haven for Afrikaners, reflecting a desire for self-determination and a rejection of the post-apartheid social landscape. Counterintuitive aspects of Orania's existence challenge common perceptions about race and segregation in contemporary South Africa. 1. Economic independence and growth. Despite being labeled as a whites-only town, Orania has developed a self-sufficient economy primarily based on agriculture, particularly pecan nut farming. The community has managed to grow economically, achieving a reported annual growth rate exceeding 10% and an unemployment rate of around 2%. This economic vitality stands in contrast to the often dire economic conditions associated with historically racially segregated communities. 2. Cultural preservation versus racism. While many external observers view Orania as a symbol of racism and remnants of apartheid, residents argue that their community is a legitimate expression of cultural preservation. They contend that their intent is not to revive apartheid but to create a space where Afrikaner culture can thrive without external pressures. This perspective complicates the narrative of Orania as merely a racist enclave, suggesting instead that the community is engaged in a broader quest for cultural identity in a rapidly changing South Africa. 3. Political engagement. Orania's residents actively participate in the democratic process, holding elections for their local representative council, which is unique in South Africa as the only transitional representative council that has not been dissolved since the end of apartheid. This political structure allows for local governance that reflects the community's values and needs, which stands in stark contrast to the portrayal of them as passive or reactionary. For demographic changes, the town has seen a significant increase in population, reaching around 2,874 in 2023, with plans for expansion to accommodate up to 10,000 residents. The growth trajectory contradicts the notion that such segregated communities are in decline or are unsustainable. Instead, it suggests that there is a demand for the lifestyle and community that Orania represents. 5. Social dynamics and norms. While Orania prides itself on being a community built on shared values and cultural identity, it also faces internal challenges, including social pressures and limited job opportunities that can lead to residents leaving. This dynamic indicates a complex social fabric where conformity to community norms is both a strength and a potential limitation, revealing the tensions inherent in such a tightly knit community. 6. Environmental practices. Orania has adopted a range of environmentally sustainable practices such as solar energy projects and extensive tree planting initiatives. These efforts highlight a community that is not only focused on cultural preservation but is also engaged with modern environmental concerns, contrasting with stereotypes of isolated, regressive communities. 7. Interactions with broader South African society. The town has hosted visits from notable South African political figures including Nelson Mandela and Jacob Zuma, which demonstrates a recognition of Orania's existence and its place within the national discourse. This engagement suggests that the town is not as isolated as some narratives imply, and that its residents are part of the broader socio-political landscape of South Africa. In summary, while Orania is often seen through the lens of racism and apartheid nostalgia, a deeper examination reveals a community grappling with its identity and future within the context of a post-apartheid South Africa. The town's economic strategies, cultural claims, and political structures challenge simplistic narratives and illustrate the complexities of race identity and community in contemporary society. Orania, a town established by Afrikaners in South Africa, represents a complex intersection of cultural identity, historical context, and contemporary socio-political dynamics. While many focus on its surface-level characteristics, such as its designation as a white-only community and its agricultural economy, there are several nuanced aspects of the town's history, culture, and future that deserve deeper exploration and understanding. Key overlooked aspects of Orania. 1. Cultural self-determination. The establishment of Orania was fundamentally rooted in the Afrikaners' desire for cultural self-determination. This aspect often gets overshadowed by the racial implications of a whites-only town. The founders aimed to create a cultural haven where Afrikaans could flourish without external pressures. This pursuit of cultural identity is significant in the context of post-apartheid South Africa, where many groups have been negotiating their place within a diverse society. Understanding this motivation helps contextualize the emotional and historical weight that Orania carries for its residents. 2. Historical continuity. The history of Afrikaner settlement in the region dates back to the late 18th century. The long-standing presence of Afrikaners in the area before Orania's official establishment in 1991 suggests a deep-rooted connection to the land that transcends contemporary politics. This historical continuity is often overlooked but is crucial for understanding the community's persistent claims to cultural and self-determination rights. 3. Economic models of self-sufficiency. Orania's economy is characterized by a strong emphasis on self-sufficiency, notably through agriculture and local currency ora. This model reflects broader global trends towards sustainability and localism. However, its unique implementation within a context of ethnic homogeneity can reveal insights into economic resilience and innovation. The local currency and cooperative economic structures challenge traditional notions of economic development, which often rely on broader integration into national or global markets. 4. Political autonomy and governance. The Orania Representative Council is a crucial institution that has managed to maintain its status despite changes in South Africa's municipal governance structure. This unique situation reflects a broader struggle for self-governance among minority communities and provides a case study on how local governance can operate outside conventional frameworks. The ongoing negotiations with the South African government regarding Orania's status also underscore the complexities of post-apartheid governance and the rights of ethnic minorities. 5. Cultural events and heritage. The cultural practices and events in Orania, such as the annual Orania Carnival, emphasize the town's commitment to preserving Afrikaner traditions and heritage. These events often highlight the community's efforts to bolster a sense of belonging and identity among residents. The significance of these cultural expressions goes beyond mere festivities. They serve as a means of resistance against perceived cultural dilution in a rapidly changing South Africa. 6. Environmental sustainability. Orania's focus on environmental sustainability through initiatives like solar energy and recycling programs often goes unnoticed in discussions about its socio-political implications. This commitment to green practices not only positions Orania as a forward-thinking community but also challenges the stereotype of separatist enclaves as inherently regressive. By adopting sustainable practices, Orania seeks to differentiate itself from broader national issues including economic and environmental challenges. 7. Future expansion plans. The plans to expand Orania's population to 10,000 reflect ambitions that are often simplified to mere ethno-nationalist aspirations. However, these ambitions can also be seen as an attempt to create a sustainable community that can support its cultural identity in a modern context. The implications of this expansion, socially, economically, and politically, could provide valuable lessons on community building in diverse societies. 8. Complexity of identity. The residents of Orania often reject the simplistic labels of racist or separatist that are commonly attributed to them. Instead, many express a nuanced identity that seeks to balance their Afrikaner heritage with a desire for peaceful coexistence within a diverse South Africa. This complexity is often obscured in mainstream narratives, which tend to paint Orania in starkly negative terms without acknowledging the diverse perspectives of its inhabitants. Significance of overlooked aspects. The significance of these overlooked aspects lies in their ability to challenge prevailing narratives about Orania and similar communities. By examining the deeper motivations and complexities of life in Orania, we can foster a more nuanced dialogue about identity, culture, and governance in South Africa. This understanding can help bridge divides and promote discussions about cultural rights, minority self-determination, and the challenges of living in a multicultural society. Conclusion. Orania serves as a microcosm of broader societal debates in South Africa regarding race identity and cultural preservation. Recognizing the overlooked aspects of its history and community dynamics is crucial for developing a comprehensive understanding of this unique town. As South Africa continues to grapple with its complex past and strive for a more inclusive future, the stories and experiences from Orania can inform conversations about belonging, governance, and cultural resilience in a diverse nation. Based on the comprehensive overview of Orania's history, current status, and future aspirations, the following 4 key points are identified for in-depth analysis and discussion. 1. Cultural self-determination and identity. Orania serves as a focal point for examining the concept of cultural self-determination among Afrikaners. Founded to provide a space for Afrikaner identity to flourish post-apartheid, it raises questions about the right of ethnic groups to seek autonomous governance to preserve their cultural heritage. This aspect also involves a critical analysis of how Orania's residents perceive their identity in the context of South Africa's diverse demographics and the legacy of apartheid. 2. Economic models and sustainability. The economic framework of Orania is unique, characterized by self-sufficiency and agricultural practices, particularly in pecan nut farming. The introduction of a local currency ora and initiatives aimed at achieving energy independence are notable. An analysis of these economic models can provide insights into the challenges and successes of creating a sustainable community in a largely rural and economically underdeveloped area, especially in comparison to broader South African economic trends. 3. Political dynamics and governance. Orania's governance structure, exemplified by the Orania Representative Council, highlights the complexities of local governance within the South African political landscape. The town's status as a privately owned entity with its own council raises questions about the interaction between local autonomy and national governance. This point invites discussion on the implications of Orania's political aspirations, including its ongoing negotiations with the South African government regarding its municipal status. 4. Controversies and perceptions. The external perceptions of Orania as a whites-only town and the associated controversies surrounding its founding and operation invite critical discourse on race relations in contemporary South Africa. Understanding how Orania is viewed by both national and international audiences alongside its self-identified goals of cultural preservation and safety allows for a nuanced discussion on the broader implications of separatist communities in post-apartheid contexts, including issues of racism, exclusivity, and the legacy of apartheid. These 4 points provide a comprehensive framework for analyzing and discussing the intricate dynamics at play in Orania, encompassing cultural, economic, political, and social dimensions within the broader South African context. 1. Kleinfontein. Kleinfontein is a small community located near Pretoria, South Africa that was established by Afrikaners in the early 1990s. Similar to Orania, Kleinfontein is a self-proclaimed Afrikaner enclave that seeks to preserve Afrikaner culture and language. The community operates under its own set of rules and promotes a lifestyle focused on Afrikaner traditions. Kleinfontein has been recognized as a cultural community, and its residents share a vision of self-determination paralleling the motivations behind the establishment of Orania. 2. Balmoral. Balmoral, located in Mpumalanga, was an attempt by Afrikaners to create a folkstate people's state in the 1990s. This initiative was part of a broader movement among Afrikaners seeking to establish a separate homeland after the end of apartheid. Although Balmoral did not develop as a sustainable community, it represents the historical aspirations of Afrikaners to have a dedicated space for their cultural and ethnic identity, similar to the goals of the Orania community. 3. Afrikaner Weerstandsbeweging AWB. The AWB is a South African far-right political organization that emerged during the apartheid era. It has been associated with the promotion of a racially exclusive Afrikaner state and has attempted to establish a homeland for Afrikaners, often invoking historical grievances and aspirations. The AWB's ideology and actions echo the sentiments of those in Orania who seek a return to a more homogeneous community structure, reflecting the desire for self-determination and cultural preservation among Afrikaners. Orania, a future outlook. As we look towards the future of Orania, a small town in South Africa founded in 1991 by Afrikaners seeking a cultural and linguistic home, several key trends and developments are likely to shape its trajectory over the next decade and beyond. Demographic growth. Orania has seen significant population growth, with projections aiming for 10,000 residents in the near future and ambitions to expand to over 1 million. This robust growth, fueled by a mix of cultural appeal, economic opportunities, and a sense of community identity, indicates a sustained interest among Afrikaners and other like-minded individuals to settle in the town. This demographic trend will likely continue as the town's unique positioning as a self-governing enclave appeals to those seeking cultural preservation and safety in a rapidly changing South Africa. Economic independence. The economy of Orania is centered on self-sufficiency primarily through agricultural ventures like pecan farming. The establishment of local currency, the Ora, and initiatives to promote digital forms of currency such as the e-Ora reflect the town's commitment to economic independence. In the future, Orania may further diversify its economy by expanding its agricultural output, developing small-scale industries, and enhancing its tourism sector. Efforts to achieve energy independence through solar power and other renewable sources will likely bolster this self-reliant economic model. Cultural preservation and identity. Orania serves as a cultural bastion for Afrikaners, emphasizing the preservation of language traditions and identity. The town's governance structure and community initiatives support this cultural focus, with local events celebrating Afrikaner heritage. As South Africa grapples with issues of racial tension and identity politics, Orania's model may attract scrutiny and interest as a case study in cultural self-determination. The ongoing efforts to maintain and promote Afrikaner customs and language will likely continue to reinforce a unique community identity in a nation marked by diversity. Political landscape. The political future of Orania will be influenced by broader national dynamics in South Africa. The town has maintained its own representative council, distinct from the municipal structures imposed by the broader South African government. This political autonomy could face challenges as national policies evolve regarding race relations, land ownership, and self-determination. Orania's residents may need to navigate these challenges while advocating for their rights and interests, possibly leading to negotiations with the national government regarding the town's status and governance. Social dynamics. Orania has often been described as a racially homogeneous community, which has raised questions about inclusivity and integration in a post-apartheid South Africa. As the town grows, it may encounter pressure to adapt its policies to reflect a more diverse society. The ability of Orania to remain a self-defined community while addressing external perceptions and internal dynamics will be crucial. The town might explore avenues for engagement with neighboring communities, fostering dialogue and understanding while maintaining its cultural integrity. Technological advancements. In an increasingly digital world, Orania's future may also involve leveraging technology to enhance community life and economic activities. From digital currencies to smart agriculture, the adoption of modern technologies could provide new opportunities for growth and efficiency. The town's emphasis on energy independence through solar power is already a step in this direction, and further innovations may enhance its sustainability and appeal. Conclusion. The future of Orania is poised at a crossroads, with potential paths shaped by demographic trends, economic initiatives, cultural preservation efforts, and the broader socio-political environment. As the town navigates these factors, it will need to balance its aspirations for self-determination with the realities of a diverse and evolving South Africa. Ultimately, Orania's story will reflect the complexities of identity, belonging, and community in a nation still grappling with its past.